Many people consider bullying a non-issue, writing it off as kids being mean or just a rite of passage to make you stronger. However, bullying is an issue that needs to be addressed as a threat to mental health. Furthermore, in today's technology-driven society, where social media is a prime form of communication, it's important to address the issue of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a form of harassment using electronic communication to demean, intimidate, or threaten a person. Cyberbullying is very similar to traditional bullying, however, there are some significant differences. For example, traditional bullying takes place face-to-face, limiting the amount of exposure to the bully. Meanwhile, cyberbullying can take place anytime, anywhere. With traditional bullying, the bully is a known individual, and the witnesses are limited to those in the vicinity who happen to be looking on. Cyberbullying is difficult to escape, where anyone, anywhere can potentially be a witness or a bully. Additionally, the victim is harder to empathize with online, whereas in person, the bully would have to witness the facial reactions of their target and the onlookers. All bullying causes psychological, emotional, and physical stress, which can be especially difficult for developing youth. This can affect eating and sleeping habits, it can affect grades as they are more likely to skip school, and it can perpetuate behavioral issues such as anxiety, anger, violence, or even apathy. Prolonged exposure to the stress that comes with cyberbullying usually leads to some form of depression. Many victims of bullying, as well as bystanders, engage in self-harm, such as cutting themselves or even taking drugs as a way to escape from their pain. These triggers, sometimes combined with others, may eventually lead to suicide. Cyberbullicide, that's the term that's been coined specifically to refer to suicides that are known or suspected to be a direct result of online bullying. Next, we'll look at 3 examples of suicides instigated by cyberbullying and an example of how, at its most extreme, cyberbullying can evolve into a vigilante mob mentality. Megan Meir was a teenager who befriended a boy on MySpace named Josh Evans, not realizing that he didn't actually exist. It was a fake account by a neighbor who wanted to humiliate her. After posting hurtful messages on MySpace, classmates started to join in the ridicule. It was too much for Megan. Just 3 weeks before her 14th birthday, she committed suicide. Tyler Clementi was a new college student. Unfortunately, Tyler ended up with a bully roommate who found out that Tyler was gay. Tyler's roommate spied on him with a webcam while he was alone with male company, and then posted hateful comments about it on Twitter, intentionally making Tyler a subject of ridicule. Tyler was only 18 years old when he jumped off the bridge. Amanda Todd was a 15-year-old girl who was blackmailed with the nude photo she was coerced into sending online. Her bully spread the photo to classmates in order to demean her. He did this repeatedly despite her moving schools. Just before Amanda committed suicide, she posted a video to YouTube chronicling her desperation. One of her comments was, "I have nobody. I need someone." In all of those stories, there was one instigator enticing a local group of peers to attack and bully one victim. However, both the anonymity and the lack of retribution for wrongdoing online allow bullies to take on even more violent forms. As violence finds traction, it can lead to something even more dangerous, a social media mob mentality. This is what happened in the case of Sunil Tripathi. Sunil Tripathi was a Brown University college student who went missing March 16, 2013. Desperate to find him, his family started a Facebook community called Help Us Find Sunil Tripathi. Initially, the Tripathi family was inspired by the outpouring of support that they received as local and online communities banded together to help with the search efforts. Tragically, on April 15, 2013, the Boston Marathon bombings occurred. A Brown student posted a comment on Reddit that the suspect looked like Sunil Tripathi. The comment went viral. Reddit users went on a crusade to be judge, jury, and potential executioner. Sunil was still missing, so they turned their hateful messages, including death threats, onto the Tripathi family instead. Unfortunately, Reddit users vilified an innocent person. The police captured the real bomber, even as countries as far away as Australia were still misreporting Sunil Tripathi as the bomber. On April 23, 2013, his body was found in the Boston River, confirming that Sunil had committed suicide when he went missing a month before the bombings even took place. The Sunil Tripathi story is an example of bullying taken to its extreme. Hate and death threats rained down on the Tripathi family in rapid succession. These bullies felt justified in their hatred, and they rallied together to form a mob, proving just how dangerous digital communities can be. The next target could be anyone at any time. Could your child be next? So you may be asking yourself, what if my child is being bullied online? What can I even do to help? Well, you've taken the first step today by wanting to learn more about cyberbullying. Recognizing it as a potential threat is the first step. Next, educate your children about cyberbullying and let them know that victims have nothing to be ashamed of. Communication is half the battle. Action is the other half of the battle. Set boundaries in an attempt to curb the exposure of your child to negative online communities. Establish rules for online use. Know what technology trends are popular and what the potential risks are. An example is Snapchat. It's popular with bullies because the evidence of bullying disappears after 10 seconds. Decorum and respect online should be taught to all children exposed to technology so that they can remember that even though it's an online community, it's still comprised of real people with real feelings. You can even encourage a plan to instill digital responsibility in your local schools. It's also good to know the school policy on both bullying and technology. Knowing what applications may be harmful is good, but also research what apps may be helpful. Stay Alive is an app that helps encourage depressed and/or suicidal users to get immediate help. HeartMob is an application to help report abuse so that victims never go unheard. There are even apps against cyberbullying, such as the one hosted by Professor Garfield. Finally, be a friend, not a bystander. If you suspect bullying in either the traditional or online setting, seek help. Then teach your children to do the same thing. Remind them of the importance of asking for help, not just for themselves, but for others as well. In some cases, it can actually save lives. Remember, cyberbullying needs to be acknowledged as a potential threat to the mental health of our loved ones. Positive change starts with every single one of us by encouraging digital responsibility and positive communication. Together, we can beat bullying, both in the traditional and digital sense.